You know what, there is times, you know, when my brain just can't get the words out. Maybe it's a bit early, 5 o'clock in the morning, brain don't work as good. So one of the problems with recording all my vlogs outside while walking is the amount of wind noise, and it seems to be like a constant battle finding the right location and doing the right tweaks in software to reduce the wind noise. But hey, I mean, it's beautiful out here. How can I not come and record some of this? So I think it's something we've got to kind of put up with. Now, have you noticed any difference in visual quality of late? It's nothing to do with the cameras. I'm still using exactly the same cameras as I was using when I first started my channel. The only difference is I'm using a free bit of software on my Mac to actually edit the videos and upload it, where I was using software on my iPad to edit and upload. And it just seems like that produces a far better quality video file, I suppose. So if you've noticed a bit of an improvement, you know, would you let us know down in the comments? And who knows, would you let us know what you're actually watching the videos on? Are you watching it on a phone or a tablet or a desktop computer? You know, that'd be also interesting to find out how people are consuming the content that I upload. Now, this is just a really quick little video because I've got to go to work today, and I've also got to take one of my vehicles to the repair shop, get it fixed. Just minor things, but you know, it's going to take time out and the likes. So it's 5 o'clock now. I've got probably about an hour before I need to start doing some real work and go and get things done. So if you're new here, my name's Dave. I'm just a regular guy who gets up and works every day, but I'm following the carnivore diet, and I've been doing it now for just over 5 months with the aim of losing body fat. I'd got to the weight of 212 pounds in weight, and I just didn't feel healthy. I just didn't feel good about myself. My self-esteem had gone, and I was constantly out of breath and just felt poorly most of the time. So I'd read up about the carnivore diet and the ketogenic diet, and I needed to break my reliance on cheap carbohydrates and sugars and things. So I thought, let's go all in, let's go carnivore. And say just after 5 months, I'm now at 164 pounds in weight as of this morning. I feel absolutely amazing. I've come down from 34% body fat to this morning I was 20% body fat. I've obviously worked that out using 3 different types of body fat analysis scales, and they all give a slightly different reading. So what I do is I take all 3 readings on 3 different scales, add them together, divide them by 3, and just take the average. And you know, by and large, it's round about, you know, between 19 and 20%. It's averaging out. Looks wise, I think I'm probably around about the 20% body fat. I wouldn't say I'm super lean, but an awful lot leaner than I was. And I just think the whole health benefits of being on carnivore have outweighed any, you know, complications of only eating a restricted diet, because I'm now completely fat adapted and looking forward to every meal that I have. Initially, I'd say for the first few weeks, I kind of felt, well, you know what, eating meat every meal, every day, could be potentially a little bit boring. But you know what, now I actually love my food, and I really do look forward to every one of those animal based meals. It's very fulfilling. You know, I feel like I'm really getting some quality nutrition out of it. Now, someone had mentioned the other day, do I not worry about the amount of protein in animal products that I'm consuming on a daily basis? You know, as in, do I think it's going to do any detriment to my health? And the thing is, I'm not actually eating any more meat or animal products than I was, you know, 5-6 months ago. Because even when I was on the standard Western diet of protein and carbohydrates and things, I was eating exactly the same amount of meat as just an absolutely butt ton of carbohydrates and sugars through things like pasta, rice and bread and fruit and vegetables. So all I've done really is take the carbohydrates out of my diet and add a lot more fat to my diet. I'm still eating the same amount of protein, and as a result I feel amazing. I feel great. You know, I've got more energy than I think I've had for decades and decades, to the point where I'm now increasing the amount of exercise I do. So a few people have asked what exercise I'm currently doing, and I do have a very active job, you know, where I lay concrete floors and I polish concrete floors, and that can be anything from 8 to 16 hours a day, depending on what's required with the project. Sometimes you've just got to work a really long day. Sometimes it's over 16 hours. It's just par for the course in my industry. So I have a very active job, which I'm usually there 4 to 5 days a week. I own the company, so I'm allowed to shuffle my days around, but you know, generally I'm working hard for most of the week, I would say. But in the last month I have been increasing the amount of structured exercise I have. So I've built myself a little gym in my junk room at the workshop that I've got, and I do like alternate days where I'll do different exercises. So probably 3 days of a week, like, you know, say a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday, I'll do like a whole body workout where I lift a few weights and things like that, just tone my muscles up. And the days in between those, I'll still work out, but it'd be more functional training, you know, things like working on balls and being out of balance and cables and pulleys and things, just very basic, but you know, just toning and corrective kind of exercises where I just put my body under stress and things, and just, you know, try and get myself fit and agile. I do quite a lot of boxing work, you know, punch bag work and kickboxing. I've got a little cheap rowing machine, so I do some rowing, you know, just get my CV up, because obviously, as I mentioned before, my lungs are all scarred from having pneumonia and pleurisy, and that's why I get out of breath quite easily. So the cardiovascular stuff with the boxing and the rowing seems to be helping quite nicely. I don't do any running, I don't seem to have the knees for it. But yesterday I got on my push bike, my bicycle. It's a brand new bike, I've had it about a year, but I've only just got on it yesterday. And this is the first time I've rode a bike in probably about 18 years, I would say. It was easy, you know, it's, you know, you never, you know, lose the ability to ride a bike, I don't think. I was out of breath, obviously, you know, first time I've done it in best part of 20 years. But considering it was the first time in such a long time that I'd rode a bike, I wasn't completely exhausted. I think I was more of a euphoric kind of feeling more than anything. The fact that, you know, I was doing something different. So no doubt in some of the videos, you know, coming, some of the future videos, you'll probably find that there'll be some footage from me riding my bikes and things, you know, just, you know, show you a different look of the scenery around here. So in general, I'm just doing very basic, very gentle exercises, because, you know, I can't afford to get myself damaged, because I've still got to go to work, so I have to just do as much gentle exercise as possible rather than do shorter amounts of very intense exercise. So at the moment I would say I'm doing about an hour a day walking. I would say an hour a day of proper exercise, you know, structured exercise, I'd say, and then between 8 and 16 hours where I go to work. So even on the days where I've done very long days, you know, working, I will still try and build in, you know, some kind of level of walking, or, you know, lifting my weights or the punch bag where possible. And if I'm working away, then I have a set of resistance bands, and I sit there using resistance bands while watching YouTube channels or watching the TV, catching up on the latest nonsense on the political scene. And you know, I just try and keep moving as much as I can. Well, I've got just over a week before my son and I fly out to the little island of Lanzarote, and that little holiday is just almost like a treat or a reward for me, losing all my weight on the carnivore diet, and actually achieving something. Because for many years I've tried to lose weight, and I've started and I've stopped and I've tried and I've failed, and it was always because I was eating exactly the same things as what made me fat in the first place, just less amounts of it. And it doesn't break the bonds, it doesn't break all those triggers that was making me overeat or eat the wrong things in the first place. So this little holiday to Lanzarote is pretty much a treat and a reward for doing well. It's also a great place to take my son, just to get him some, you know, get him out in the fresh air and sun, and we'll have to do some exploring, and we can have a play in the pool and whatever. And because it's all inclusive, he can just help himself to whatever he wants, and we haven't got to worry about counting money and sorting stuff out. So looking forward to that. So I've got just over a week, like a week and I think it's, well, a week and a day. So for that last week, I'm going to put some extra effort into losing maybe it's another pound of body fat, and I'm going to do that by doing my small multiple meals per day within an 8-hour window. But every other day I'm going to be doing alternate day fasting. So for example, on a Monday I'll eat my meals, on a Tuesday water fast, Wednesday back to eating, Thursday back to water fasting. And I know it's quite vain, I know it is, but I've now got to an age where I want to try and look my best around the pool for the first time in decades. For decades I've always been the guy around the pool who wants to cover himself up because I've had too much belly fat or carried too much weight for my frame, because I ain't got a massive frame. And you know what, I've always thought people have either criticised my look or just thought, well, he looks out of shape, he doesn't look in, you know, good nick, does he? So this will be like the first holiday in decades where I think I'll look pretty good, to be honest. You know, I'll look like I'm more healthy, more toned up and more in shape. So I'm looking forward to that. It's the first time in a long time that I've managed to have that feeling and the confidence to actually get my top off and sit in the sun. Because normally I'll probably, you know, get in the sun round a, you know, a coffee table or something, but keep my shirt on and, you know, just wear a pair of shorts. So hopefully this time I'll feel good enough about myself to actually get my top off and, you know, get some sun all over my body. So I know it's probably a little bit vain, but it's one of the motivating factors for keeping me going and doing my exercise and eating really well. It's just something I'm looking forward to be honest. You know, I always find when it's really good weather, when there's plenty of sun, all my little waffles seem to be a little bit more positive. I don't know if it's the sunlight, if it's the vitamin D, or it's like, you know, the Indian gurus would say solar prana or pranic energy. I don't know if it's any of those things, but I just find, you know, when I get out in the sunshine, all my little waffles just seem to be, well, more positive. Because I was going to have a whinge and a moan about the keto diet again and how I think it's kind of degenerated into the next junk food diet, because it is just full of products and crap. It's just infiltrated by sweet treats.